What's up, everybody? Coach Mills here, coming at you with a brand new Valorant video. And in this video, we gotta break down the top 5 agents for patch 2.02. This is gonna be the top 5 agents to dominate your games and climb with ease in patch 2.02. But climbing with ease is a click away on the GameLeap website in the links down below. We have in-depth advanced VAR reviews and mechanical guides for every single one of these characters. So do yourself a favor, go check it out in the links down below. But without further ado, let's jump into this video. Now, kicking it off with the 5th agent on our list, we have none other than the Demolition Girl herself, RAZE. Now, RAZE is a fantastic character in the current meta for a number of reasons. First off, just from a ranked point of view, RAZE has the ability to clear out so many different areas on the map that a lot of other characters would really struggle with. Why do you need to invest multiple flashes to take control of mid on split, for instance, when you can use one boombot and it does the job all the same, getting you information and allowing you to take that space for free? Not to mention, just talking about your solo impact in games, not only do your paint shells potentially do a ton of damage, but being able to give yourself crazy amounts of mobility with your blast pack allow you to cut off enemies, better use weapons like the Stinger and the Bucky, and really abuse what this meta is all about, which is getting tons of ability-based value and damage and winning a lot of your pistol rounds and your force buy rounds using the mobility power of RAZE and all of her abilities. But especially for you players that are playing at the lower ranks, where I see, based on pick rate, a lot of you flock to characters like REYNA or Jett or whoever, but realistically, RAZE brings forth something from the duelist category called the highest intrinsic value. And what I mean by that is the automatic base value of RAZE is already pretty high. Just by playing the character, you give yourself a pretty good shot of doing a lot of things, having a lot of value and impact without gunplay, putting gunplay aside. And while some of these other characters that I talked about rely on having your gunplay work successfully every single time, RAZE does it, and RAZE is still going to be bringing value to the table. You're going to be getting a lot of kills, a lot of damage, a lot of value, regardless of whether or not your gunplay is crispy. And because of all these factors combined, RAZE is a phenomenal pick right now, definitely for patch 2.02 in the current meta. She really thrives. Now moving on to the next agent that we have for you, that's an amazing agent for patch 2.02, and it might surprise you, and it's Sage. Now Sage has a really high win rate all the way up even in Immortal, and there are many reasons why Sage is so good, but let's run them down. First off, because Skye is not really that great and not really seeing a lot of play, Sage is the only viable healer when you're talking about all the different types of splash damage that come around, such as RAZE grenades and KILLJOY utility. Being able to give a little bit extra sustain to your team, get them up to a full fighting force, is absolutely unparalleled by anything else that is seeing play in the meta. On top of that, Sage has a lot of flexibility. Not only does she have the capability to completely stop rushes, which is very important when there's stingers flying around everywhere, she also has the ability to heal herself and make really proactive wall-based plays. So she really gets to kind of play this really passive role, but out of nowhere go for these really aggressive lurks, try to get potential aggressive based value. And Sage, all in all, is a character that every single team will be happy to have on their team, and you can really make plays from the Sentinel role. So all in all, Sage is just one of those characters that, just like RAZE, brings a lot of intrinsic value, and then it has a layer on top of that of even higher potential lurk value and playmaking value. And if you combine all those factors with the fact that she has the most powerful singular ult in the game, at least in my opinion, she definitely deserves a spot in this top 5 agents for patch 2.02. Now moving on to the next agent that we got for you in patch 2.02. I don't even want to put this character on the list because I absolutely freaking hate her. I hate that they put her in the game. I hate everything about her, but I gotta tell y'all because I know you want to win some games, and this character's freaking nuts, and it's KILLJOY. Now, how many times have you gone up against a KILLJOY and pistol round and just hated your freaking life? Yeah, it's happened to you because it's terrible. KILLJOY is a character that literally, her presence is so demanding that sometimes on pistol rounds, on attack, players will literally go to the other point when they see a KILLJOY's there. Now, you can abuse this on KILLJOY, and how you do that is you get kind of greedy with the sights that KILLJOY is holding. She's holding a very powerful sight where she's good on. You can stack more than average people on that pistol round on that other sight. And then enemies are going to rush that sight. They see the KILLJOY stuff on one site. They go to the other site, they rush it, and there's like 3 people on that side. And they're like, what the heck? Well, you can really abuse the fact that players are not actually dealing with KILLJOY utility. And on that pistol round, it can be completely oppressive because by the time they kill it, by the time they actually kill it, especially if they have frenzies, which is seeing the most amount of play right now, your turret is going to do so much damage to them. And on top of that, KILLJOY's ultimate is the best ultimate at retaking space. And what I mean by that is she's insanely good to use for a retake strategy. If enemies want to rush on like psychopaths onto your point, they rush on, they plant that spike. As long as you don't lose that many people or no people at all, you can always use KILLJOY's ultimate to reclaim that space, put pressure on that spike while holding these longer sight lines and force enemies to play into you. It is extremely powerful to do and players don't set it up enough, but if you start to set this up in your games, you're gonna be winning a lot of rounds based on your ultimate alone. Not to mention you just get to have a huge advantage on pistol round, especially on defense. There's a lot to love about KILLJOY, and just like with the other 2 characters, that floor of value is actually pretty high, and as such, KILLJOY is an amazing character to play and pick up for any of the lower ranks. And then of course, when you expand your game knowledge and your gunplay, it can still carry you through the higher ranks as well. Now moving on to the next agent, the number 2 agent, top agent for patch 2.02, and this one might be pretty expected, but I have to include it here because she's just freaking nuts in this meta right now. It's not even fair in ranked play. She has the highest pick rate in almost every single rank period, and it's REYNA. Now yes, REYNA relies on a lot of things to go right. She doesn't even have access to most of her kit unless of course you get that kill. But here's the thing, being able to convert on a kill is very, very easy when you're either rocking that frenzy and baiting some allies. Yes, you can bait some allies on REYNA, specifically other duelists like a Phoenix for instance. Getting that final blow is incredibly important on pistol round for REYNA because usually if you're rocking something like a frenzy and you get overheal, there's no one on the enemy team that can even touch you and you're just gonna win the round off the back of that. So allowing your Phoenix to go in first, refragging off of him, starting the chain, and then just, you know, cleaning up the rest of the kills, that can be a way that you pretty much guarantee that pistol round as long as you make sure to consistently get that refrag. But even more than that, we gotta talk about how stingers are being used a lot, and REYNA works perfectly with stingers. Being able to play aggressively inside a smoke, for instance, when enemies try to push through, you get a kill, you can fade out, and they can't refrag you. On top of that, by the time you get out, if they swing the corner again, you already have your stinger ready to go. REYNA just has one of the highest conversion rates of being down in numbers to still winning the round. A lot of characters don't have the tools available, but REYNA can easily 1v3, and if you ever catch the enemy slipping, you can directly convert your mechanical skill and good, quick decision making into winning a round that pretty much any other character in that same scenario wouldn't have been able to clutch up. REYNA gives you all the options on a stick, whether that's repositioning, whether that means healing and getting that sustain. REYNA is like the all-in-one package, and yeah, she can be very, very difficult to play because it all requires you to have that gunplay grasp. But if you're looking for a character that as long as you have that gunplay down, as long as you're confident mechanically, you will have the highest potential carry rate out of any other character. You could be popping off mechanically on so many different characters and still not be able to carry your games. But on REYNA, as long as you have the skill to back it up, you can consistently and definitively 1v2, 1v3, even 1v4 your enemy, and that's absolutely amazing on a character, especially for the ranked environment. REYNA is phenomenal, and not to mention the fact that her Lear plays so well with aggressive stinger rushes and aggressive team frenzy rushes because of course it doesn't flash her teammates, means that that's just icing on the cake for the character overall. Very great pick right now, and I apologize in advance for the additional amount of REYNA's insta-locking in your games. But moving on to our number 1 agent pick for patch 2.02, we recently did a guide on this agent because he's so damn powerful for setting up all the really aggressive duelists, because there's a lot of duelists to choose from. We have a lot of duelists that didn't even make the cut that are still amazing, characters like Jet that are amazing and phenomenal here. She could easily be on this list. But the number 1 character, the number 1 agent I have for patch 2.02 is actually SOVA. Now SOVA is the perfect enabler in my personal opinion. He enables a lot of your duelists to easily take sight, finds players that are hiding, whether it be a Bucky, a Stinger, a Frenzy, or whatever, in any tight corners where they're trying to skamaza kill and get out. This happens a lot where a Reyna will do that, or a Jet, and because they have the get out ability, they can play aggressive, fish for an aggressive kill, and then get out before they get refragged. But because SOVA can catch them out a little bit early, they usually either force them to reposition and prevent them from getting that value, or even better, you catch them out altogether and they never get a kill and you get a numbers advantage. On top of that, SOVA just allows for easy sight clears. He has an amazing ultimate that is really good for getting kills, contesting a defuse, and of course, because you're in the back of the pack as SOVA, you're gonna get in a lot of clutch situations where you're gonna be the ultimate decider about how that round goes. Now, that being said, a lot of people are worried about learning these complicated SOVA rollouts, whether they're shock or recon, and while I don't think they are the most important thing in the world, it wouldn't hurt you to learn a couple here and there, and eventually as you play the character more, your knowledge will increase, but realize that the majority of your value is going to be due to simple recon arrows. But all in all, while a lot of different duelists are really interchangeable right now, they're all powerful in their own different way. SOVA brings something forward that's unique to anything else, very aggressive based information gathering, and that just puts SOVA at the top of the list right now. An amazing SOVA player can easily climb in this meta in patch 2.02. But do yourself a favor, go check out the GameLeap website in the links down below for any in-depth guides and VOD reviews over every single one of these. We got tons of content on the GameLeap website. Definitely go check it out right now. But thank you so much for coming by. I hope you enjoyed the video. Good luck finding a MILF in your area, and see you tomorrow.